All right, we are live. This is Ashley here from the Limitless Mom Empire. I am a life coach and mindset mentor for mamas and women who are determined to rise, determined to have a big life for themselves. Okay. All right, make sure everyone can see me here. I just broke my light ring right before I started this. I think I got it fixed, but we'll see. Okay, so the other day I had a post in here about boundaries, and this is one of the most important things that we need in our lives. And this is one of the most important things that I go over with my clients. And, whenever we are looking to grow into this new version of ourselves and become that, person that is able to have the dream life that we want, we have to, number one, figure out what that is, and number one, let go of everything that isn't that, right? And figure out, number one, what we need in place to become that person and what is missing. Okay. And a lot of times, what I find with my clients and what my clients find is, it's boundaries because they are either, spending too much time on other things, spending too much money on other things, spending too much mental energy, being frustrated and angry with certain people in their lives. So whenever you're looking at your dream life and you're looking at what you want to become the best version of yourself, you really have to respect that person and know that whenever you are setting boundaries, it's for that new version of you, and it's going to be wonderful. So what are boundaries? Number one, it's a form of self-love and it's a form of self-care. And I can't stress this enough because so many people think that, or just the way that society brings people up, is to think that we have to give, 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 give. And, there's, we're just supposed to run around depleted all the time, on every level. And that's not the case. And again, you have to think about, what type of person are you giving to your family if you're depleted all the time? So, whenever I look at boundaries with my clients, I look at there's five separate places. It's number one, it's emotional, then material, then time and energy, mental and physical, all boundaries in all of those areas of our lives. And the reason we do this is because again, we're raising our standards. We are raising, our creating that new vibration of us to live in that dream life that we want. We want to create it. And, all of those areas are affected. We have to raise our standards in all of those areas to be able to become that person. So that's why I focus on those five areas. And, one of the biggest ones with mental, the mental part is the people that you're surrounded with. And this is, what we get the most is people who are drained by the people around them. And I'm going to be sharing some of my personal stories of that. But, you know, um, the boundaries again are serving the person that you're becoming. And that is what you really need to remember during, whenever you are shifting yourself. And because you can get a lot of backlash. So, why do we need them? Well, without them, we don't become a priority in our lives. And when we don't become a priority, we, number one, show other people that they don't have to look at us as a priority, or we're teaching our kids not to make themselves a priority in their own lives. So this is very crucial for, again, setting the stage for number one, how you want to be treated, number two, how you want other people in your world, to show up for themselves too. And again, I'm talking about our children. If our children constantly see us, just giving into everything and not setting boundaries and stuff, like that's unhealthy, right? And they do what we do. So, it does affect our families whenever we are constantly drained. We can't show up as, the best mom, wife, friend, whatever that we can because we are drained because we're not putting ourselves first. So, you know, when we're going after our dreams and the goals that we have in mind for ourselves, it's our responsibility to make ourselves a priority. And this is boundaries is the way to do it. So, and also too, it's not anyone else's responsibility to set boundaries and to do anything for that. They don't know what you need. Okay. So whenever we are, if we set boundaries and someone crosses our boundaries, we have to make sure that we don't ever let that happen again. Because if it affects you in a negative way, like the other person probably isn't going to stop. Okay. Most likely. So it's not their responsibility. It's your responsibility to make sure that you set up a bigger boundary. And, I have quite a few examples of boundaries in my life. And the first one would be number one, um, my in-laws, and we don't speak to them anymore. However, there was, once we started having kids, that was a major issue. And I know that this is really common with a lot of families, um, and sometimes it's with your own parents, sometimes it's with, just people you're close to in your family. Like families are the people because they feel like they have some say over what you do in your life because they raised you or whatever, right? Which is not true. Not true. You are your own person. And so with us, once we started having kids, we were choosing to raise our kids in a different way than, you know, my husband was raised and I was raised and things like that. And they didn't like that. So they didn't respect what we wanted for our children. They would challenge us. They would, put us down. They would do all this stupid shit, right? Um, which is a really big energy drain. And once that started, we started putting up boundaries. We were like, all right, we're not going to visit them much. We're not going to talk to them about these certain subjects, whatever. I mean, it was just constant crossing of boundary after another, and then again, we had to keep enforcing bigger boundaries. And when those still got crossed, then it had to be endgame for that because, again, we respect our family and we respect the work that we do in our family and what we stand for. So, and our kids' mental energy and our kids, all that stuff. So, this is not something that is, I'm not going to say easy, but it is something that is necessary, especially when it comes to our family. I had another instance where we had someone that married into our family. And there was multiple instances, not just with me, but with other family members of this person consistently crossing boundaries and consistently uh, bullying, to say per se, and just kind of never, nothing was ever, everything was disrespectful. Setting boundaries was disrespectful. I mean, and there's always that one person, right, in families that is just like thinks that they're entitled to everything and they're entitled to all of your energy, all of your time. And if you don't comply to what they want, then you're disrespectful, you're this, you're that, and they'll say bad things about you and all this stuff. So be very aware and mindful of that and don't let it keep you down. Okay. If you're new to setting boundaries in your life, it's easy to get caught up in that and to feel bad because these people make you feel bad, right? So whenever you set these boundaries and people cross them and they get pissed at you, that's a very good indication of you being able to see where their respect for you ends. And again, you have to decide whether you're okay with that or you're not, and you're willing to do something about it. So again, enforcing bigger boundaries. But the only people who get upset when you send boundaries are those who have benefited from you having none. So if you're ready to change your life and you are ready to go after your goals, go after your dreams, create that new version of you, and you're ready to do it and you are committing this time, this time investment, this financial investment, all this stuff into yourself. And with that, you got to be ready to say no to other things. And no is a complete sentence. We don't have to explain ourselves to anyone. We don't owe anyone an explanation. Um, but of course, a lot of times people get caught up in being so nice and, just overstepping and kind of constantly crossing their boundaries and, ending up back in that space of being depleted. And so for someone like that, it's a little bit tricky to at first understand that you're not being a mean person, that you are actually, showing up for yourself, you are honoring yourself, you are becoming a better version of you, and you respect yourself. So, and people that don't understand that, they're not going to understand it. And it's not your job to explain to them again what you're doing with your life, all the things. You don't have to keep repeating yourself, then you're just draining your energy. So, whenever you're going through this, it's really it's a process of, constantly just being aware, acknowledging, letting go, and just continually checking in with yourself, checking in with your energy levels, checking in with all the areas of your life where you have boundaries, and see who is crossing them. You know, um, if you allow people to make more withdrawals and deposits in your life, then you're going to be in a negative balance. Know when to close the account. So, it's really important to, again, just show up for that you want to become, and let go of the people. And again, people are going to get pissed off. People are going to, be offended by it. People are going to probably call you names and say nasty things about you. It's happened to me numerous times, as years ago when I started setting boundaries. And I've been bullied a lot by certain people, and that's when I just keep enforcing the boundaries. I mean, there are people that, the thing is, like, distance doesn't matter. How far away you are from a person, if you have a big enough boundary. Like things like that. Like, people think, well, I have to leave the state so I don't have to be around this person, and whatever. And sometimes that's a solution, but the thing is, again, a lot of people, don't realize they don't want to take responsibility for the boundaries because they're afraid of what the repercussion is going to be from the other person, because they are so used to giving in to the other person. So they figure that's an easy way out. It's, easy to do. When in reality, it's not fixing the problem, because they're not learning anything from it either. So that's why it's so important. Boundaries are, again, they're a form of self-love, they're a form of self-care, and they're necessary. They are necessary when you are rebuilding your life. They are necessary for you to heal yourself. And whenever you are on that healing journey, you know, you have to make yourself a priority. And I promise you that whenever you do this, even if it's, I mean, you should be a priority all the time in your life, but if you're new to this, if you're new to being a priority to yourself, I think as moms, as wives, as just, anything, we're so used to putting everyone else first. And, we're not able to show up in the best way. So by doing this, you are serving the person that you are becoming. And it's so amazing. And once you start feeling more confident in yourself, then this is going to be like easy, right? And you're going to get even, you're going to start evaluating your boundaries in your life, or editing it very much more, and on a higher level constantly, because as you grow and, as you do new things and become a different person, you're going to require more of yourself, more time of yourself. Maybe, like for me, whenever I was started my personal development journey years ago, and I really had to I had a 1-year-old at the time. I really had to make sure I was making myself a priority and setting that boundary of, no, I have to do this for myself, instead of, doing like cleaning 9,000 things every day, no, I need to take some time, and set healthy boundaries with them. So this goes in many different directions. This is very much a necessary process in your growth, in your uh, in your life, to serve you. So again, people are going to get pissed. People are going to call you names. People are going to do all the things. Okay. And I'm here to tell you that it's going to be okay. Don't cave in when that happens, because, again, then you see who has more control over you. Okay. Givers rarely set boundaries. Or I'm sorry, givers need to set boundaries because takers rarely do. Um, so if you're a giver, and you always give, make sure that you are not draining yourself for people who are not willing to, you know, do anything for you either. So, it would, and whenever I am going through this process with my clients, I take them through a 3-step boundary creating process that is literally, it's so life changing. It's so life changing. And I've got so much feedback from that. Just about how, that little shift in their life has just created this new level of, just almost just happiness of, room to breathe. Because a lot of my clients, most of them are moms. Most of them, have similar situations to what I have, with either their mother-in-laws, their parents, all these things, interacting with, influencing their kids in a way that they don't want them to be influenced. So, just think about that. So, yeah, evaluate your life. And, that's what and why we do that. So, yeah, it's life changing. It's wonderful. So, all right. I'm going to jump off of here. If you are wanting to set more boundaries in your life, just drop a comment below. I'm interested to see who needs this, who is ready to set boundaries and rebuild their life and go for it and say no to everything that is not serving that best version of you. All right, happy Sunday, guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow.